Why can your car turn smoothly, without the tires fighting each other? Picture a simple turn into a parking lot. The outside wheel travels a bigger circle than the inside wheel. Bigger circle means more distance, so it must spin faster. But if both wheels were locked to the same axle like a solid bar, they'd be forced to rotate at the same speed. Here's the short answer. A differential is a clever gearbox that splits torque to both wheels while allowing them to rotate at different speeds when they need to. Let's make that real. Imagine drawing two circles on the ground, a small one for the inside tire, a larger one for the outside. If the car moves the same amount of time, the outside tire has to cover more ground. The differential is the reason it can do that without drama. So what's inside? Start with the drive shaft coming from the engine and transmission. It spins a small gear called the pinion. The pinion turns a big gear called the ring gear. The ring gear is bolted to a housing. Think of it like a rotating basket called the carrier. Inside that spinning carrier lie the stars of the show, the spider gears. They're small gears mounted on a cross pin, and they mesh with two bigger side gears, one connected to each axle shaft. Now the magic part, the carrier can spin, and the spider gears can also spin on their own. When you drive straight, both wheels have similar resistance, so the spider gears don't need to rotate on their pin. They just sit there and ride along. Result, both axles turn the same speed. But the instant you turn, the wheels want different speeds. The inside wheel slows down because it's taking a shorter path and it unloads slightly. The outside wheel speeds up because it's traveling farther and carries more load. That speed difference forces the spider gears to start spinning on their own axis. Here's a clean way to think about it. The differential doesn't choose exact wheel speeds. It enforces an average. If one wheel goes faster, the other must go slower by the same amount, so the average stays tied to the drive shaft. And torque. In an open differential, the common basic one, torque is split to both sides, but limited by the wheel with the least grip. That's why if one wheel is on ice and the other on dry pavement, the icy wheel can spin uselessly while the car barely moves. That problem is why we have variations, limited slip differentials, locking differentials, and electronic traction control. Limited slip resists excessive speed difference. Locking differentials can force both wheels to turn together when needed. And traction control uses brakes to slow a slipping wheel so the differential can send usable torque to the other side. But don't confuse that with the core mission. The core mission is turning without tire scrub. Without a differential, every tight turn would feel like dragging a heavy object sideways. With a differential, the wheels cooperate, the outside wheel runs ahead, the inside wheel relaxes, and the car follows the curve smoothly. Now a question for you. If open differentials struggle on ice, why do most normal cars still use them? And what's the cheapest trick engineers use to fake a limited slip?